So today I want to introduce you to chromium and just show you how to draw the model of chromium, which is an element that I chose off the periodic table. So it is actually number 24, right? It's number 24 on the table. It's called chromium. And I'm going to draw a model for you. Here's how to do it. So first of all, I grabbed a periodic table. This is actually inside of your student organizer, your student agenda. And I found chromium right here. It's just not that easy to see. So I wanted to enlarge it a little bit for you. So once I found chromium, and I know it's going to be chromium here. It's going to be chromium here with 24 protons. How do I know that? I know that because according to when I look at the atomic number, it says that that's how many protons each one has, and I know that each how many electrons and how many protons there have to be. So I know that, for example, when I draw my model, there's going to be at least 20. I know there has to be 24 protons in the middle and 24 electrons on the outside. So I know that my protons, that's going to be inside the nucleus, and these little guys, these little electrons are going to be floating all the way around the nucleus, but I'm not really sure how to do that. So just a second, we're going to have to go back to our periodic table. So looking at my periodic table, I can tell that this is the first row right here. If I want to show you, this is the first row, and I know for a fact that the first row is going to have 2 electrons on there for sure. Okay, I just know that because there's one electron here, and there's one electron here. So that's a total of 2. And once we get down into our next level, this is the second row across, right across here. And I know that since there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different elements, that I'm going to have a total of 8 different electrons on that ring or on that orbit. So now I'm coming down here to the third row. That means I'm going to have a third ring of electrons, and I also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 also in that one. And I know we're getting a little bit tricky here, and you'll see some models are a little bit different, but we're going to also just stick with this with 8 on the next ring. And the fourth row of elements here, we're going to keep it pretty simple here in 4th grade. We're going to say this is the 4th row, and they're also going to have, well, they're going to have more than 8, but we're not really sure about that. We'll see how that works out. So let's just go ahead and stick with the number of elements that you see here. Let's stick with the number of elements that you see here. Let's go ahead and put that many electrons on the outside for right now to go with our method, because we're not going to go much higher than the next 2 rows. We're going to go up to the 5th row here, but in the 4th row, we won't go any more than the elements that we can actually see. Okay, so let's stick with those. And I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 are going to be total on the outside. So that would be 18. Let's go ahead and mark that as 18. All right. So let's go ahead and draw our model. We know that my chromium is here on the 4th one. So I'm going to start with my 1, 2, 3 and go on to the 4th ring with my model. Okay. So I know that I'm going to have 4 rings, and I'm going to start with the center, which is the nucleus, right? This is your nucleus, and we know inside the nucleus we have to put 24 neutrons or protons, 24 protons, because that's the number of chromium, right? So this is 24 plus, that's a plus charge, and everything on the outside, they're going to be negative charges outside of the nucleus. So here's the first ring. This is the orbit, and I'm going to put, I'm going to put 2 electrons on here. Here's an electron and another electron. And I know I need to go to 4 rings. So what we learned in class, the second ring is going to have electrons in pairs, right? So I go around in a circle, and these are orbiting around, and they like to be in pairs. I'm going to put them in pairs, and there are 8 on the second ring. So far, that is 10 different electrons. I need to make a third ring, right? Because we're going to go up to the number 24. We need 24 electrons to match the protons. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to start on the next ring also. So there's going to be 8 on this ring also. So that's going to be 2 in the middle, 8 on the second ring, and 8 on the outside ring. So that's a total of 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 8 is 18. I need to make a fourth ring. And let me stop for a second because you might see some different models of these. But this model is what we basically learned, the old kind of model that we're going to learn in class. So I have 2, 8, and 8, and I still am missing a couple of electrons. So I'm going to go right around the ring again and add 4, 5, and 6. So I now have 24 electrons. And if you remember right, we have right here around this electron and right around this electron, we have 2 empty spaces. Right here, there's 2 empty spaces where another electron can be added to make it more stable. So you can see that they might form a molecule with another kind of element. But this is my chromium. It is chromium. It is 24. And I have made my model. Thank you very much.